Man, I just keep coming back to the Steam Deck. So here's my little travel confession, if you will allow me to tell you a little bit of a story. Every single time my family and I get ready for a trip, especially around Halloween, the kids have a fall break, I fall into the exact same trap. I tell myself, this time I'm going to load up on some spooky games. I scroll through my backlog. I pick out a bunch of creepy atmospheric titles. You know, I'm going to start playing these things. I want to play them in a dimly lit hotel room after the kids fall asleep on vacation. It's perfect for Halloween, right? Perfect for it. Ghosts, monsters, like Foggy Town, Silent Hill style stuff here, creepy soundtracks. Like, I love the whole thing, right? It just fits the season for me. But then reality sets in. I'm like, holy crap. The entire pile of games that I picked this year were all on my PS5. Like, I had like Oxide, Room, whatever. I had The Thing Remastered. I had a bunch of other games all on my PS5. Like, wait a second, I can't bring my PS5. As much as I love that console, it's definitely not coming with me in my suitcase for a ride around the world right now. I'm not packing my entire PlayStation 5 into my carry-on, no matter how much I want to keep, playing my PS5 on the road. And that's where this dilemma begins, because Sony doesn't really have a handheld that lets me take my PS5 library on the go. I mean, sure, I've got the PlayStation Portal, but I have to say, I really do not like this, because it's basically a fancy remote screen. It only works over Wi-Fi, and it's nowhere near as flexible as a true portable system. If I could download my PS5 games onto this and take it with me, that would be a game changer. But most people don't realize that PlayStation Portal actually requires a much higher upload speed than download. It requires this, the game console itself to be sending a signal to your device. So most people have a pretty crappy upload speed bandwidth for a lot of their internet. I can't believe it. I live in Colorado, and I've been fighting with Comcast and Xfinity. They're trying to roll out their symmetrical service, like 1,000 down, 1,000 up. But right now, I'm stuck with 35 megabytes up and 1,200 down. So that means the PlayStation Portal is pretty much unusable right now in my house, unfortunately, over Wi-Fi. So anyway, especially if you're in a hotel room or you're staying with family somewhere, the connection is never going to be good enough. Like hotel Wi-Fi to bring the PlayStation Portal, not going to happen. You'll be staring at lag, pixelation, the game will disconnect all the time. Not exactly the immersive horror experience that I'm going after, by the way. Then there's the Nintendo Switch 2. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. I love the Switch 2, but a lot of these Halloween games just don't hit the same way there. Some don't even exist on the platform at all. The ones that do often run at lower frame rates or without graphical detail that really makes horror games pop. So then, when you're creeping through shadows of a haunted facility, there's, you got to deal with that extra bit of lighting, atmosphere, and that doesn't really come through on the Switch 2, particularly on that LCD screen. So every time, without fail, I end up reaching back and grabbing the Steam Deck as the same solution. And so like last year when I took this trip, I just loaded it up with spooky games, and I played almost all of those spooky games right on the Steam Deck. I played the original Luigi's Mansion. I played Silent Hill 2 on there. So it's like a reliable old friend who never lets me down. I just fire it up, throw on my noise canceling earbuds, and suddenly Halloween is anywhere that I go. It's in my hands because it's in my Steam Deck. Now I can boot right into The Thing Remastered, Dying Light, Resident Evil 1 if I want to, Resident Evil 4 if I want to, whatever creepy title fits the mood. The OLED screen looks absolutely stunning. I mean, playing Silent Hill 2 on this device was actually pretty awesome. These deep blacks, the contrast, the way fire and moonlight kind of glow in the darkness on this screen. It's a really beautiful screen. It's the perfect handheld for this time of year. And it's not just about modern horror games. I mean, the Steam Deck gives me access to decades of spooky classics as well, thanks to emulation. So I've got Emulation Station running on this device. And like I said, last year I played my first ever GameCube game. I played it while traveling on my Steam Deck. I played Luigi's Mansion 1, and it was a fantastic experience. Having that, resolution scaled up on this beautiful OLED screen, it was just beautiful to play. Playing like, Game Boy Advance games like Aria of Sorrow, Castlevania, or like PS1 games, Symphony of the Night. All of it just plays great through emulation right here on this device. They never look better than they did back in the day. That's the part I have to say I love the most about it. I can jump into my Steam library and then just bounce back and forth between like my modern games and all of my retro games and all of the ROMs that I have on this device effortlessly. I don't get that with the Switch 2. 1 minute I'm fighting off zombies, in Dying Light, and the next I'm hanging out in some Game Boy Advance games. So it's just a great device for all of that. It also helps that the Steam Deck is built like a tank, but it still feels comfortable to hold for hours. I really love gaming on this device. It just feels so comfortable in the hand. It really is great, and I can hold it for hours. The grips are perfect for like long sessions on the airplane flight and all of that. The controls feel precise. I love the D-pad. I love the buttons. The buttons are just so nice, so clicky and nice. And the OLED screen especially just nails that experience. Every time I pick it up, I'm reminded that this device was actually built for gamers who actually travel, or just want to enjoy their games like on the couch and be able to enjoy their entire PC library right there on the couch. So whether I'm sitting on a plane, waiting at the gate, hanging out in a hotel room while my kids are asleep, it just works. No setup, no streaming, no nonsense. It's great. And that brings me to something else that I've been thinking about a lot lately, the future of handheld gaming, especially from Sony, because there are all these rumors out there about, a PS6 handheld or some kind of PlayStation Portable 2, a PSP 2. If that ever happens, I really hope that they get it right, because I think they could do some really great things here. But the big question I have for Sony is, will they give access to our existing library? Will we be able to play our physical discs or even our digital PS5 games without buying them again? Or are we heading for another sort of closed ecosystem where everything has to be repurchased, re-downloaded? Meaning, like, if I have the physical copy of Dead Space, right, and I've installed it on my PS5 console or my PS6 console, will the portable version of that recognize the license? Will it recognize that you own the game physically, and it will allow you to download a digital representation of it right there on your new PSP, the PS6 Portable 2. I mean, in the same way that Apple has done this with their iTunes Match, right? They know that you have a physical representation of the disc. So what do? They give you a way higher quality audio version from their servers of the disc that you already own or the MP3s that you've already bought. They give you like the top of the line. And if they update it, like the movies, like in your iTunes library, if they update it to 4K or 8K eventually, they'll give you the free versions of those because you already own it. So will Sony do that? That's really what makes the Steam Deck so special. It's open, it's flexible, it respects the games that you already own. I can take my massive Steam library with me. It's been built up over the past few years and instantly have it in my hands. No restrictions, no streaming requirements, no connecting to a console somewhere, just pure gaming freedom. And it's such a great feeling. And even though I'm a huge fan of physical media, I love owning cartridges. I love owning the discs, the boxes, the manuals, all of that. I just got a few special editions recently that I love. Some Yakuza special editions, which are really cool. The Steam Deck has made me appreciate the convenience of digital in a whole new way. I'll always prefer to own my own games physically when I can, but for travel, the ability to have my entire library sitting on an SD card, ready to play anywhere in the world, is kind of unbeatable. It's that kind of grab and go simplicity that I keep coming back to with the Steam Deck. So my flight takes off in a few hours, and I'm packing up everything right now, and I've been really thinking about the games I'm going to be playing over the past couple of days, and I was saying to my friend, I'm having an existential crisis right now. What game should I play on the road? And it just comes back to the Steam Deck for me. I downloaded the Thing Remastered last night on the Steam Deck, even though, yes, I have it on the PS5 already, the disc. Like, I want to play that. So I'm going to play that while we're traveling, and I put a bunch of other games on here as well. I have Silent Hill F on here as well, even though I have a physical version of that. So again, it all works. It just works great on the Steam Deck, and I can take it everywhere. I can take it into a dark hotel room in the middle of nowhere and sit there and be inside of a classic horror movie like The Thing. I'm excited about that. That's what gaming is for me. Finding like those little moments of immersion when I can, when the kids are falling asleep, my wife's falling asleep, and I can just jump in and play some horror classics here on my Steam Deck. So it just has everything I need. It's powerful, it's portable, and it keeps my Halloween tradition alive no matter where the family goes. And just thinking about all these new handhelds that are coming out, like GPD device, the Legion Go 2, all these things are like $1,000, $1,200, $1,100. And the Steam Deck is like so affordable and just allows me this beautiful OLED screen and an incredible gaming experience with my full Steam library and all of these emulation choices. So yeah, once again, the Steam Deck wins even though this is like an older device now. It's pretty crazy. Something tells me that it's going to keep winning for a long time. We'll see what happens with the Asus ROG Ally X and all of those devices and how they sort of stack up against this. But for now, Steam Deck is the winner. Anyways, guys, let me know down below. Do you guys own a Steam Deck OLED? What's your thought on portable gaming? And how do you guys handle that? Like when you're getting ready to take a trip, like, do you have that same sort of existential crisis moment? You're like, oh my God, which cartridges should I bring with me? Because it's like, I can't come home. I'm away for 2 weeks or whatever, and you want to have everything with you. So let me know down below, guys. I read all of your comments. Thank you so much for subscribing, and happy Halloween. We'll see you next time, everyone.